Welcome, podcast listeners. This is the podcast that almost didn't happen. It is episode 18. You are here with your host, Budget Pedal Chap, and you are joined once again by Paul Mason. Say hi, Paul.
Hi, Paul.
Hi, Paul. Of course.
Never gets old.
I know. I have
will
to have
one day.
I have to have a go at Ollie every time he does it because he's the youngster. He's the whippersnapper. Right, so we're going to kick it off with our what you been up to's this week. Paul, have you got stuff to share with us?
Yeah, you know what I said about I fitted the kill switch last week?
Yep.
Yeah. Not a kill switch, sorry, the blower switch.
The blower switch, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not
I
now
killed my
function.
volume control doing it.
Oh, bloody hell.
No, what I've done, fortunately I've got like a huge pack of pots in the cupboard somewhere.
Yeah.
But I think what I've done is I've overheated the pot that was in there.
Oh,
So it's warped the track
yeah.
inside it. So it's like you have to sort of knock it about a little bit to get it to sort of get the right volume
Oh dear.
when you've activated the switch, which is a pain in the arse.
Yeah, it's not quite as intended, really, is it?
No, it's still when you get it set right, it still works brilliant, but
Yeah.
it takes a bit of playing about to get it to that point.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, I'll be honest and put my hands up. I've absolutely fucked over pots using a little bit too much heat. So it's an easy thing to do.
I was actually discussing this with our American friend Josh Wood.
Oh yeah, fair play.
And we both came to the conclusion that what I've done is right. When I got my soldering iron, I was I think it was about 16.
Yeah.
In fact, no, I don't even think I'd left school, and I've still got the same soldering iron now.
Oh wow. So yeah.
So bearing in mind at school, you know pretty much nothing about soldering irons because your school provides them for you.
Yeah.
So I went out and bought one. I didn't know anything about checking wattages or anything like that. And I've discovered that it's a 25 watts. So I think what I've done is I'm using too lower wattage.
Yeah.
So I'm having to keep it in place for a lot longer to get the solder to melt. Yeah, so it's overheating stuff.
I was told by a by a guitar tech to get at least 40 watts. And I did exactly the same thing as you. I went to Maplin and went, I'm going to buy myself a swanky new soldering iron. Oh, that one's got variable heat. That's surely got to be all right. Found out from the guitar tech. Oh yeah, the transformers used in variable heat soldering irons can really fuck your pickups. It's like, oh yeah, cool. I won't be using that again. Fortunately, it doesn't do so bad for microelectronics, so I've been using it for my pedal builds instead.
Yeah.
Which kind of brings us swiftly on to what I've been doing this week.
Yeah.
So part of that has been it's been the other side of the pedal build, which is the kind of making the enclosure look pretty. So all of you who follow the Instagram or just kind of follow the podcast, like we mentioned last time, I've been having trouble with the paint that I was using. So I went out and bought some paint specifically for coating metal, and it worked out pretty well. I managed to get a nice even coat. It's starting to look nice. Drew my immature graphic on once again.
Your graphic.
The graphic. And then put some clear coat on, and it was looking absolutely beautiful. So tonight I thought I'm just going to put one more coat of clear coat on just to make sure it's all sorted, and then that'll be finished. Falling at the final hurdle. The clear coat's now cracking, and it's looking absolutely horrible. So I'm gonna have to strip it back and start again. But hey ho, we live and learn, and I'll learn that once it looks good, just leave it alone, just leave it there.
Yeah, but it's always less than hard learned, isn't it?
I know, yeah. It just means that I'm gonna have to get the very rough grit sandpaper out again. But hey ho, I've put some primer on some other enclosures, and they're going good at the moment. So fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Something that I also did this week. I picked up a guitar that I don't play as often as I should. But the last time I played it, I'd restrung it, and I'd restrung it with a set of 9s. So I was playing this guitar and it felt really good. And then only kind of like 20 minutes, 30 minutes in, I'd realised that actually the string gauge was a little slacker than I'm used to. And it kind of got an internal dilemma going with me, because I am a 10s guy through and through. No matter what I'm playing, I have 10s on. And I've got something like 4 or 5 spare packs of 10s, and very reluctant to switch over, but these 9s felt very, very nice. So I don't know. Is a midlife crisis going on here?
No, I think it's something that happens to everyone. I've been playing 10 since I was about 17, 18.
Yeah.
Actually, originally I jumped straight from 9s to 11s.
Woohoo!
That kind of caused massive amounts of cramp, so I dropped down to 10s and decided that I really liked them.
Yeah.
So I've been playing them for nearly 20 years now.
Cool.
I needed a set of strings, and I ended up grabbing. Well, I got a set off John Ashton.
Oh, cool.
And they were either 9s or 9.5s.
Yeah.
PRS, which are actually made by the Dario, which is what I normally play.
Yeah.
And he gave me these strings, and I noticed that bending them was slightly easier.
Yeah.
It didn't necessarily sound any different, but the thinner strings, it was noticeable under your fingers. And whenever I sort of played a bend on the high E string, I was terrified I was going to snap it.
Oh dear. I can't say.
Plus, I was always overshooting notes when I was bending.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'd noticed. It weren't necessarily the bending that I was overshooting notes. It was more the kind of semitone inflections that you do on certain notes.
Yeah.
Usually it's quite subtle, but with the 9s, it was I was overshooting it, and it was almost becoming a bend. So
yeah,
it would be something.
I very rarely do anything subtle on the guitar. It's like I'm very ham-fisted, so even my vibrato sounds like a half-tone bend.
Oh yeah, the classic kind of 80s metal vibrato.
Gotta love it. She's my favourite player, so.
Well, yeah, it would only be natural to do so. I mean, I tend.
Have you seen his way of doing vibrato?
No, how's he approach it?
How he's got fingertips left, I will never know. He'll do the normal sort of waggle the string up and down sort of shimmer.
Yeah.
But for a really wide vibrato, before he learned about the whammy bar,
yeah,
he was trying to replicate using the bar without using the bar. So what he ended up doing was his idea of vibrato was to play a massive like 3 semitone glissando about 20 times one after the other.
Oh, right, yes. Kind of Greg House style.
He's sort of like he's zipping up and down really quick. I mean, the hand motion doesn't bear thinking about. But yeah, it's when you try it burns the shit out your fingertips.
Yeah, it can do, yeah.
And he does that. He does that about 40 times in a 2-hour gig. It's like, how have you still got fingers?
Talking about emulating a whammy bar, I released a video on my Budget Pedal Chap YouTube channel this week about imitating a whammy bar using pre-bends. But it's got nothing to do with glissando, so it's something. It's a nice little trick to learn that one. Actually, it sounds pretty nice.
I think I might have to watch that one because I do like the idea of being able to do that without actually using the bar itself. Even though I've got a guitar with a Floyd Rose, I do like the idea of being able to sort of confuse people's ears by doing it without using the Floyd.
Yeah, I mean, the way I developed it, I was teaching some guitar students about whammy bar use, but I didn't have a guitar with a whammy bar, so I just kind of emulated it by like pre-bending and then kind of wiggling my hand, and it made them giggle. So I kind of developed it from there as a little gag. But it's a great little trick to confuse punters and just generally to get that whammy bar sound without having to bother.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that was kind of my week in playing, and I'm at that crossroads where I need to decide whether I'm going to stick with tens and just kind of man it up a little bit, or move over to nines and have to reset everything and the huge cost that will come with as well.
Yeah, I think for me, I'd always, I know it's not about me, but I'd always stick with tens. I've spent that long playing them. I couldn't see myself switching to any other gauge now.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm at as well. Considering I've not so long ago I bought a set of Ernie Ball Paradigms, some NYXLs, and some Elixir OptiWebs, all in gauge 10s, and they're all installed on guitars now. So right. I don't really want to get rid of them because they're bloody expensive.
How do you find the difference between them?
I didn't like the XLs, the NYXLs. I thought they sounded dull out of the box.
Oh, okay.
The Paradigm seemed like a normal set of guitar strings, so didn't necessarily seem like there was a great deal of difference. The tuning stability was a little bit nicer, and the OptiWebs seemed incredibly bright. It's almost overbearingly bright. So I don't know. That's just kind of my snapshot opinion. But I haven't played them all that much, to be honest. Because I'm planning on doing like a little shootout with them, and if I play them, then they're gonna add life to the strings. But I don't know if I'm gonna get around to that. I need to check, see what the strings sound like anyway.
Have you compared the NYXLs to the normal XLs?
Yes, because I play D'Addario as my standard strings, and honestly, I preferred the standard ones.
Standard XLs over the NYs.
Yeah, I think I do. Anyway, enough pontificating because we have prattled on for almost a quarter of our show.
Bloody hell already.
I know, yeah, it's mental, isn't it? We've got a big news week, and this week we're going to luxuriate in a release from a company that I love. So TC Electronic, they have released something called the Analog Armada, which is a series of pedals within their budget line. This is the line that got a little bit of flack for being rehoused Behringer pedals. This new addition to that line, definitely not the case. They are there's some very exciting things within that line. So there are 8 new pedals. I'm going to do a quick rundown. You can hear the rustling of the paper already because I need notes on this one. So we've got a fuzz, we've got a distortion, we've got a overdrive, which doesn't sound all that exciting yet, but we've also got an octaver.
Yep.
We've got a chorus, which is called the third dimension.
Yeah.
We'll go a little bit more into that, but yep, interesting chorus. There's a trem, and this tremolo has got a sweepable.
Weird name.
Yeah, it's got a weird name. Definitely got a weird.
I'm trying to figure out whether it's called a choker or a chocker.
I think it's called the chocker.
Right.
But this, yeah, it's got a sweepable wave on it, so you can go from sawtooth to square wave, and in between.
It's a low frequency oscillator, isn't it?
Yes, because it's got 3 different modes, hasn't it? So we've also got
down to me anyway.
We've got the crescendo auto swell.
Yeah.
Which is essentially like a volume pedal that does it automatically for you, and then we've got the iron curtain noise gate. So we're gonna have a close look at some of these and kind of discuss. So honeypot fuzz is our first one. This one. To be
honest, I buy all these pedals just for names.
The names aren't bad. I think my favourite one so far is the El Macambo.
Yeah.
It sounds. I mean, the name itself sounds wicked, but the pedal sounds brilliant as well. So start off. Honeypot fuzz. This is certain muffly based fuzz tone.
Yeah.
So I mean, in the product description that TC have put out, they mention Dave Gilmour, they mention Billy Corgan. It's unmistakably big muff sounding.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool, and it sounds pretty convincing. Very, I mean, I think as the name suggests, very smooth, very kind of syrupy sounding fuzz.
Very rich.
Yeah, very rich. Very
sweet.
So that's the honeypot fuzz. To my ear, it sounded pretty good. I'd definitely like to try one of these out. Our next one up is the iMaster Metal Distortion. Out of the entire cohort, the armada, if you will, this is my least favourite. Yeah, I think generally speaking, Metal Distortion isn't for me as is, but in terms of like the sound that it was producing as well, it didn't ring true for me.
Well, as soon as I saw the description that said it will appeal to metal players, it just made me think of the Boss Metal Zone.
I mean, it looks quite similar to the Metal Zone in terms of the color scheme, but it's a two knob distortion. There's not room for a tonal shaping. And my impression from it was really kind of boxy sounding, really kind of honky in the mid range, and not much else.
Yeah, which is generally not what you want from a metal sound.
No, I mean they do say that it's targeting the kind of Swedish death metal sound, which I can't say that I'm very very au fait with.
No, I'm not.
So maybe they like really boxy sounding distortion tones. But
the only Swedish stuff I'm really familiar with is certain cars and furniture outlets.
ABBA.
Well, yeah.
I think Swedish death metal is not my forte. But we'll move on. So the El Macambo. possibly the most fun one to say.
Yeah.
Unmistakably based around a green mid-boosty overdrive circuit.
Yes.
It sounds pretty good to me. Have you heard any of the sound clips of this one?
I haven't. Although I did. I was reading a sort of a brief overview of it, and it mentions it's got symmetrical clipping.
Yeah.
It says it gives it more of an amp-like character, which that would probably suit me down to a T.
Yeah, I must admit, I mean the market is saturated with Tube Screamer clones, but this, it did sound pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't hurt that the guy playing is a pretty solid player as well.
Oh, it always does wonders. Getting a decent player.
But yeah, it sounds pretty good to me. I don't think there's much more that you can say about a Tube Screamer, is there?
Not really.
I mean, they're pretty classic. So let's get onto the slightly more interesting side now. So we've got the Nether Octaver, which is a dual octave sound. So you've got one octave down and then two down, as well as your dry signal mix. So maybe based on the POG. Is it the POG?
What is it? Purely a down octaver?
Yeah, it's pure down. There's no up, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah. See that one? No.
Yeah.
I like to have the up option as well.
Yeah, if it was up, dry, and down, that might be
yeah.
But their sub and up mini does that, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think it does.
Well, it does it as standard. I know they've got the tone print on it, and you can apply anything.
There's a great little thing you can do with the if you get an octaver that does one down, one up.
Yeah.
There's a great little trick that I used to. I mean, all right, bearing in mind that it was part of a preset on a Zoom effects unit that I had. But
yeah,
if you get a one down, one up, it does a very good emulation of a church organ.
Yeah. I've seen some guys do that.
Yeah, I used to. I'd actually learned a little passage out of Toccata and Fugue.
Ah, wicked.
And it's like it's that famous sort of
yeah.
But you can turn that into a tapping lick.
Yeah, no, I've done that as a tapping lick before.
Yeah, I used to like chuck that effect on and do that lick, and it gives it a very good sort of church organ-y, slightly demented sound.
Yeah, no, I'd definitely be up for that. I actually played the Toccata as part of a symphonic metal orchestra, and I played the entire thing on a Dan Electro. I was rebelling at the time. I thought, no, I'm not going to be metal. But yeah, I mean, if I would have had an octave pedal that did that, it would have sounded absolutely immense.
Yeah.
I mean, the Dan Electro sounded wicked anyway, but with the octave effect would have been wicked. However, moving back onto the Nether octave. So we got two octaves down. It mentions it's there for kind of that earth-shattering sub feel. And
it's basically for anybody who wants to play Royal Blood, isn't it?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's kind of targeting that new kind of pedal person.
Yeah.
But no, it sounds pretty cool to me.
What does the drag control actually control?
I assume the amount of your original signal that comes out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So once we,
I suppose that's not so. It's like a sort of a mix control, isn't it? Really.
Yeah.
If you look at it that way.
Yeah, it's like
blend.
Like a blend. So we move on to our this is possibly the one that's been driving everyone crazy. The third dimension.
Yeah.
So this is a chorus which is based around a vintage Boss stomp, which is the dimension. I think it was the Dimension C, but there were also another couple of names for it. The Space C. It had like 3 different iterations, I believe. They all did the same thing, but it's essentially, instead of having your standard depth rate mix, it had 4 buttons, and each of those buttons did something, which I don't know. But it's just instant 80s chorus, which is immense.
Yeah, a lot of people sort of take the mick out of 80s chorus, but to be honest, I think that was the best era to have chorus.
Yeah, everyone did it. So
stuff with, but I think that was a big problem. Was it was
overused.
It was overkill.
Yeah,
but I mean, when you listen to the sort of the vintage choruses, they've got a bit more character to them than the newer ones, I think.
Yeah. I tend to like choruses which are based around the CE2, which is the 2-knob Boss chorus, rather than the newer, the Ensemble King. Oh no, it's not the Ensemble King. That's the Moore one, isn't it? The chorus ensemble and the super chorus.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're after subtlety, the third dimension is not it. It does 80s chorus, and it does it by the bucket load. However, according to TC, it is a very accurate reproduction of the classic Boss pedal. So it's gonna save you a hell of a lot of money if you buy one of them instead of one of the Dimension C's off eBay.
Yeah. The Dimension C's, are they the ones that cost like a small fortune?
Yeah, they're running up quite a price on the used market.
Yeah.
They're in like a weird kind of pinky lilac enclosure as well, which is a bit strange. Yeah, it's very, very 80s. So there's the third dimension. The Chocotrem or Chocotrem, which again not really hitting too much new ground apart from this the wave selector.
Yeah.
So I mean, you've got rate and you've got depth, which standard going. But then you've also got the Sawtooth, the LFO, and the square wave as well.
Square wave, is that the one that's sort of like on, off, on, off? There's no sort of swell in between.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it could possibly find a use for that.
It's I mean, it's your more modern style trem rather than the old amp style trems. I don't think I'd have much of a use for it myself, because I much prefer the old vintage style, adding a bit of movement to your sound rather than a more kind of surfy tone, which they were trying to tout it as in the videos. But hey ho, I mean, it's not another Behringer pedal reproduction, so all good. So the Crescendo is our next one up. I mean, they even
the auto swell.
Yeah, the auto swell. They even make fun of the fact that you probably know what this is based on in the product video, and it didn't take a genius to figure out it's the Slow Gear by Boss. Again, another pedal which I don't think it's quite as sought after on the used market as the Dimension, but it's gonna cost more than these pedals. So
I've never actually heard of this Slow Gear.
I think Moore do a repro of it as well. But essentially, it's an auto swell. It was before its time. in terms of design because it weren't hugely popular.
Yeah.
One of the things I found really interesting about it actually when watching the video, it didn't seem to engage when there were fast runs being played, which is it seems like a bonus to me, because if I'd know that if I had it on and it engaged for every note that I did, and the swell time took longer than my notes, I'd end up just cutting out when I did anything fast.
Yeah, that's something that I've noticed with auto swells that I've used in the past. I mean, I'm not a fan of auto swells, so I don't have a tendency of using them.
Yeah.
But you get to a point where it's trying to keep up with you.
Yeah.
But like you say, you can never get the swell time quick enough.
Yeah, for it to
actually sound like a swell.
Yeah. Yeah, it's either on or it's...
It either sounds all the time or you just get like a little mumble.
Yeah, this one, it seemed to... Once you go past a certain threshold in terms of speed of your playing, it seems to ignore your signal and just let the notes through.
Yeah, just sit there and goes, I can't keep up.
Yeah, just go, oh, fuck this. But yeah, I mean, it sounded pretty cool. Again, it's not a pedal that I think that I'll use all that much, but it's interesting. It's really interesting stuff because it's reproducing, and again, it says they're saying a very, very accurate reproduction of the original. So.
See, whereas the write-up I'm reading says it's an odd effect.
It is an odd effect. Yeah, it's definitely an odd effect. But I mean, volume swells are becoming more mainstream in the guitar world. I think we've got a little segment later on about someone who disagrees.
Yeah. I think volume swells have the place, but I've always been of the school that you do it with your volume control.
Yeah, well, it depends what guitar you play, doesn't it? Because Strats, I would do that all day, every day. Because the volume knob's in the right place for it. I don't think I'd be able to do it too well with the tellies that I play now.
I knew you were going to say that, but country players do it a lot with tellies, and all they tend to do is they take the control plate off, turn it the other way around, swap the volume and tone control round, so it sort of goes volume, tone, selector.
Yeah.
And then they have it that way, so they can still do like the violin sort of and lap steel sort of sounds.
Yeah.
Using the volume control.
Those guys are also extremely good guitarists, the country lot. But for me, fuck that with a giant stick.
That is a fair point, actually.
I'm not defacing my tellies for what is something that I don't use all that much. I could buy one of these pedals and do it without having to touch my guitar.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about the price in a bit as well, because that's another lovely point of these pedals. Right, so finally, the Iron Curtain.
Yes.
A seemingly Russian themed pedal. It's actually a noise gate. I don't know much about the controls. I think it's got two, but I didn't kind of look into them too much.
Threshold and decay.
I'd assume so, yeah. It seemed to work well. What can you say about a noise gate, really? It shuts up noise.
It gates noise.
Yeah, so...
yeah.
It's
not something that I'd ever really use as a standalone, but I mean that...
Yeah.
That said, I've never run anything that hasn't had a built-in noise gate.
Yeah.
So whether I would use it with other pedals is a completely different thing. I mean, even when I used to just run a standard amplifier,
yeah,
when I ran the Fender Performer,
yeah,
I was using multi-effects units
Oh right, so
they've all got built-in noise gates.
It all gates it, yeah.
My Vox VT40 is a modelling amp. It's got a built-in noise gate.
Yeah.
So I dare say if I was running like the Fender Performer and a ton of standard pedals, then I probably would need the noise gate, because obviously the more pedals you've got, the more your noise floor increases.
It's more the more certain types of pedal you've got.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I do exactly that. I run a series of relatively inexpensive and cheap component pedals at the front end of an amp. It never gets in my way, but I don't use great deals of gain. But what they did say was it can be used to like get rid of the single coil noise. So I mean that might be a useful thing for it. So in terms of close competitors, your next noise gate up probably costs an extra £30 on top of that.
Is that the Boss one?
Yeah, the NS2.
Yeah.
Granted, the NS2 is a much smarter unit in terms of the way it functions, because it's got its own inbuilt like effects loop, where you put the noisy pedals in the effects loop, and it will only gate those ones. This is just you put it at a point in the chain, and it will gate anything before it. But no, it's a gate, and it's cheap. So yeah, I mean, so
does the job.
all of these pedals, so as far as I saw, are coming in at £52, which, I mean, it's pretty impressive, isn't it?
Yeah.
£52 for a Boss Dimension C, or £52 for a slow gear, £52 for a noise gate. It doesn't come in all that often.
I don't think you're going to get a cheap Screamer for that sort of price either, are you?
I mean,
the decent ones are starting at like 80, 90 quid.
Yeah, I mean, your official Ibanez tube screamers are, but I mean, you could. My Instagram channel proves that you can get decent stuff for less than that. I mean, you're talking probably about 30-40 quid. The Joyo, what's it called? Vintage Overdrive. I've not played one myself, but people absolutely rave about them, and they're about 35 quid. So, in terms of, I mean, the what's it called? El Macambo. El Macambo. It's not treading any new territory.
No.
But it's a decent little pedal, and 52 quid it might be worth a punt. Sounded pretty good to me. So yeah, that's that. I think we're gonna move on, because we've talked again probably another 15 minutes just about TC pedals, and people are gonna start.
Well, when you've got a whole range to talk about, then it's easy to do that.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So another pedal company who brought out some stuff this week, John Hornby Skews. No, JHS.
I was gonna say from JHS.
Yeah, definitely. JHS.
What's his face? Everybody's favourite pedal maker. He says with gritted teeth.
Josh, isn't it?
Yeah.
So they've brought out 3 pedals this week. The Kilt V2. I can't say I know much about the Kilt, but it's supposed to be based on an Expandora Dirtbox, which sounds absolutely filthy. So, by the looks of it, like I say, I don't know a great deal about JHS pedals in general, but
I don't even know what an Expandora Dirtbox is. I've never heard of it.
No, I'm not too au fait with it myself. However, the V2 seems to have brought up some dip switches, toggle switches, which allow for different gain stages, and there's a low cut flick switch as well, which could be cool. So another dirt pedal in the market. I hear good things about the kilt actually. Some guys on another podcast that I'm not going to promote because other podcasts should only listen to this one. No, I mean I listen to a hell of a lot of them. So by all means, listen to as many as you want. But yeah, a couple of the American podcasts, they mention the kilt and they mention it quite favourably. They've brought out a new reverb pedal called the Spring Tank, which
dual spring reverb, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Looks pretty cool. Kind of amp voiced spring reverb with 2 presets, which sounds pretty good to me. Reverb's reverb, and it ain't delay.
When this goes out, we're going to have absolute bedlam from Matt.
Yeah, it's shots fired, isn't it? But the reason why I've mentioned JHS this week is because of the faux pas that they made on this last one. So this is the green muff.
Already.
Yeah, it's the green muff. But they released it as the Chernobyl mod, which, I mean, it, like me seeing that, I had a field day. I just thought, how did that get past just the prototyping stage and no one say anything? But yeah, it did, and then a day later,
they might as well have called it the Kursk.
Oh dear. So yeah, a day later they retracted it and apologized, which it was very big of them. I thought it's very noble of a company to admit their mistakes. However, I don't think that mistake should have been made in the first place.
I was just going to say it's not the sort of mistake that should ever be sort of made public.
Yeah, I mean, it's the reason why we haven't got like the Hitler pedal or anything like that. Just people know better, but apparently not.
Well, there is a pedal manufacturer out there that I'm pretty sure people are going to know who I'm talking about. They make a pedal that, if you say the name quick enough, it sounds like somebody who enjoys anal sex.
Oh dear.
And I'll leave that at that.
Oh dear. I can't say I know the pedal, but wonderful. There are certain areas of the market.
If I said it's somebody who, not necessarily themselves, but their followers are in direct competition with JHS's followers, would you know who I mean?
No, I think it's. I've had a long week, so.
I think everybody else probably will, so I'll explain it to you later.
Yeah, that I'm sure they will. I'm obviously being very dense, but I mean, having had this kind of this faux pas slapped in my face from JHS, I actually did a bit of research on the pedal, on the mods, and it actually seems pretty cool. So they've added another knob to the side of it, which is a bit strange, but it's a feedback knob, so it increases the internal feedback of the circuit, so infinite nasty. So that's pretty cool. it has a 3-mode toggle switch, which does low, stock, and high, and then it has a gain switch as well. Which, who would have thought you'd need more gain out of a muff pedal? But hey ho, more gain.
I mean, actually, we were saying like having the name the Chernobyl mod. It shouldn't have got out there in the first place.
Yeah.
With some of the rumors that go around about JHS, if you believe them, then it's not really surprising that they did that.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's a bit of iffy territory talking about rumors, and I think we're going to leave it up to the listeners to do the research into that themselves.
Yeah,
because
I personally think it was purely a poor choice of words. They were trying to sort of think of something that was going to grab attention.
Yeah, and it did.
Calling something Chernobyl will do that, but for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah,
you just haven't considered it properly.
No, not
That's
at all.
I think it was.
Yeah, I completely agree. So that's kind of where we're going to leave it with JHS for this week, because we've got a little bit of a meaty topic and we've got probably about 15 minutes to cover it.
Yep.
So, because I reckon it'll lead us through to that. So, there was a certain news article this week, and it mentioned the return of a band that I got into not so long back. The band is Black Country Communion.
Yep.
Obviously, it's Glenn Hughes, Jason Bonham, and Joe Bonamassa.
And Derek Sherinian.
Oh, is that Keys?
Yeah, keyboard player. He's actually the current keyboard player with Sons of Apollo.
Who are Sons of Apollo?
Mike Portnoy's current band.
Oh, wicked. Yeah,
Mike
cool.
Portnoy, Billy Sheehan, some guitarist that I've never seen before, some singer that I've never seen before, and Derek Sherinian.
Wonderful. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, actually, Derek Sherinian used to be who's its keyboard player? Alice Cooper's.
Oh, nice. So
you know when he released Poison?
Yes.
That effect at the beginning, that was Derek Sherinian.
Cool. Nice one. So a bit of rock royalty there.
Trivia.
Yeah, a little bit of rock royalty. I didn't know. I got into their stuff from the first album where they were officially touted as a 3-piece. But then I kind of had a resurgence of listening to their catalogue, and I ended up buying their entire back catalogue. But this interview, which should have been absolutely awesome news, has been overshadowed by a very small segment, which has been picked up by the Guitar Press. It's been ran with by every forum that we're part of, and then some.
Yeah.
Do you want to walk us through this, Paul? What this comment has sparked such controversy?
Yeah. Actually, to be fair, there's a couple of comments in there that I'm surprised the other one didn't really raise so much as an eyebrow. The other one was you were telling me Glenn Hughes and Joe Beard fallen out because Joe was putting more attention on his solo career and his touring, which that is his first and foremost job. That's what he does. Mm-hmm. Black Country Communion was always a side project.
Yeah.
And yet nobody's called out Glenn Hughes for saying he doesn't pay enough attention to Black Country Communion.
Yeah.
Like I say, that didn't seem to raise as much as an eyebrow. But as soon as Joe Bonamassa turns around and says, people are, he's basic. What's the word for it? the statement behind what he said was basically, if you're running an amp and your guitar, then that's fine.
Yeah.
If you're using a load of pedals and, well, his actual words were hiding behind a load of pedals.
Yeah.
That's fucking lazy, was his exact statement.
There was a little bit more to the statement than that, but that kind of excerpt was the thing that all of the press were running with, essentially.
Yeah.
So they were saying, "Oh, Joe Bonamassa's insulting all of those who use guitar pedals, or all those people who've got massive pedal boards." And the way that I read the article, that wasn't the full story.
No.
So he was mentioning, I think mentioned within the article was that guitar effects that sound algorithmic, guitar effects that. Or guitarists who call themselves soundscape artists, and these are the kind of people that he was targeting. The kind of newer wave of guitarists, and I think he mentions the shoegaze movement within guitar by name. Yeah. So it seems to be very much. Aiming sights at the more modern sound, the atmospheric guitarist, the people who use the reverbs and delays and the to create their sounds, rather than I think as he said it, the guitarists who'd put 30 years of practice into playing to make their guitar sound good, and he said that they were being lazy.
Yeah, right. I'm probably going to get shot for saying this, and I'm possibly going to cause a massive division in opinions. Not that there hasn't been a massive division in opinions already.
Oh, yeah.
But for me personally, I think the backlash that's caused is a lot of people taking out of context and crying over fuck all. If I'm to be completely honest and blunt,
yeah,
I can understand in a way why people are getting upset.
Yeah.
Because he's saying, oh, like people who put 30 years into the playing and all the rest of it. Well, who's to say? I mean, even if you look before shoegaze, you had guys like King Crimson.
Yeah, Fripp.
Robert Fripp and that lot. They're all doing soundscapes and all the rest of it. But Tangerine Dream? Who's to say that they haven't spent 30 years perfecting their guitar playing, but just decided to go down a route that was more of an atmospheric thing? So I can kind of see why people are slightly annoyed about that statement, because it is very generalizing.
Yeah.
And it is kind of derogatory.
It seems like a person, personally quite divisive statement.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's one person's opinion.
Yeah.
What's the point in getting upset about it?
Yeah.
What I mean, it's like I read something a while ago that it was kind of along the same sort of lines, but more aimed towards users of social media. Okay. What happens when you see something that you find offensive?
Yeah, it gets people up in arms, doesn't it?
Yeah, but what actually happens? What physically happens?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah, it's your choice.
Still going to come up in the morning. It's, just because you get offended about it, it isn't going to be the end of the world.
Yeah, it's your choice to take offence, and it's your choice to then act upon it, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think it is actually a case of that. People are taking offence at it when they really don't even need to. It's a comment that you can just ignore. And
yeah,
on the one hand, I probably follow Joe Bonamassa's school of thought, but at the same time, I'm smart enough to know that there's people who don't and prefer to create soundscapes.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to criticise them for that because I'm open-minded enough.
Yeah, I think that's where the problem lies, isn't it? What I've found is that the bitterness in the kind of comment sections of the article was coming from people who had not who had read the title essentially and made their opinion there rather than reading the article. They had looked at the title and thought, I'm gonna take aim at this. So I think
to be honest, that's more the fault of the writers than Joe Bonamassa himself.
Yeah, it was very clickbaity, wasn't it?
Joe shared an off the cuff opinion comment.
Yeah.
That should have been really taken with a pinch of salt, and they've turned it into World War III.
Yeah, it almost has been a like a shitstorm, hasn't it?
And personally, I think he's been scapegoated a little bit. Like I say, I mean, I didn't even read the article all the way through because seeing that headline made me not want to.
Yeah.
Because I just took one look at it and went, "Who fucking cares?"
I mean, what my thoughts have kind of gone to if this is maybe either a clever marketing ploy by the writers of the magazines or the articles, or maybe even a clever ploy by Jobo himself. If he throws a little bit of controversy into an article.
Yeah. I don't really see how somebody could sort of say, right, if I say something negative, that's going to go in favour of my sales. And, something that's going to cause such a shitstorm, I don't really see how that works. I do see it being, but then again, I'm very sort of anti-journo, which is surprising considering a co-host the podcast. But I have a thing against journalists because they tend to do things like that. They will take something and they will spin it out of all proportion to sell their...
of course.
It pisses me off no end. It was the reason I stopped buying... It was one of the reasons why I stopped buying guitar magazines.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all driven by advertisement and... and by living in
and the fact
pockets,
that they won't turn around and say this product is shit when it actually is.
Yeah.
And they'll say, this product is the best thing ever because they're scared that manufacturers won't send them another one.
Yeah.
To review later. That whole thing was just right. Do you know what the journalism world in music has basically caught up with the Sunday Sport.
Don't know. There's much less tits and just general debauchery.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, mind you, 90s guitar magazines were terrible, weren't they? Not so much anymore. Not so much anymore.
You say there's much less tits. I don't know. I mean, you look at the writers and you've just got them there. That's my opinion, and I'm going to get slaughtered for it. But like I say, I mean, I kind of follow Joe's school of thought. I prefer the sound to mainly come from my guitar and my amp.
Yeah.
Yes, I understand. Like somebody said, well, as soon as you kick in the distortion channel on your amp, you've got an effect right there. Well, yes, I understand that, but it is still your amp. It's your amp's natural tone.
Yeah.
It's not being changed. It's not being suppressed. It's not being altered by an outside source. It is still your guitar and amplifier. And the only other effects I use is a light bit of OD, just to give me a little bit of a push. And I tend to use a delay, kind of like a reverb.
Good man.
But I find the delay gives me the sort of fullness that a reverb doesn't.
Yeah, I tend to find it doesn't get in the way as much of your original tone. Whereas reverb colours the original tone. It darkens everything.
Yeah.
But
to be honest, I mean, when you're playing in live situations, by the time your reverb gets to a point where you actually notice it,
yeah,
it's cranked up full anyway.
Yeah, it's in your face then, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's when it starts to sort of it's getting to a point where it's, like you say, it's colouring things, but it's, if you sort of used it at that level in your bedroom, you'd just hear this massive squelch.
Yeah, there wouldn't be any definition at all.
No. So that's why I prefer to use delay, because reverb just isn't. It's far too subtle in effect. It's great for use in recording. But
yeah, definitely.
It's not so much a noticeable effect live. If you want to get that effect, then that's when you start looking more towards delays.
Yeah. Do you hear this, Matt? Do you hear it?
Like I say, I do kind of follow Joe's school of thought. Like I say, I'm more sensible than to say, shoegazers are fucking lazy, because, at the end of the day, they're popular.
Yeah. I think Joe needs to put his money where his mouth is and release a shoegaze album.
Yeah, I mean, if you want an example of lazy players, look at the 70s punk scene. Half the time, they didn't even bother to learn their instruments.
Yeah.
But they were still popular.
Yeah.
I would never have turned around and... Yeah, again, I would never have turned around and said the punks are fucking lazy. Number one, they'd probably smash my head in. Number two, they're too popular to make comments like that about them.
I think they probably would have agreed with you more than anything. They would have said...
Well, actually, yeah, they would.
Yeah, we're not musicians. We're protesting in a musical form.
I think it was John Lydon that said that, wasn't it?
I don't know. I just said it. But...
I'm pretty sure Johnny Rotten actually did say that.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it's essentially what it was about, wasn't it? It was the spirit of the punk movement. It was never about the proficiency of the instrument being played. Swinging it back to old Jobo, I think, generally speaking, it was a bit of a storm over what could have been. It could have been avoided if people would have actually read the article.
Yeah,
and I think people have blown it a little bit out of proportion. Is it gonna be detrimental? Who knows? I think
probably not to Joe, because he's got that much of a following that nobody's,
Yeah.
The people who are following him are going to turn around and say exactly what I said.
Yeah, I think
the people who don't.
Yeah, they already have strong opinions on Joe anyway.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's not losing anything.
No, I mean, I commonly saw in the comment sections people saying stuff like, I didn't like Joe Bonamassa. This only cements my opinion of it. So, I mean, he's not losing any of his core fans over that, but he's definitely alienating a corner of the guitar market that they might not have picked his stuff up before, but they're definitely not going to now.
Yeah, I think there's a key word in that statement though, and that is opinion.
Yeah,
and that's all any of this is people's opinion. It was Joe's opinion.
Yeah,
the people who are ranting about it, it's their opinion.
Yeah,
it's none of it is going to change anybody's mind. I certainly don't believe that Joe's original comment was designed to change anybody's mind.
No. I think it was more purely, of a rant than anything, wasn't it?
Yeah, he opened his mouth. He said the wrong thing. Everybody does it.
Yeah, I mean, JHS said the wrong thing this week. Joe said the wrong thing this week. It's easy done.
Yeah.
I think that's where we're going to leave it. We're going to also put a link to the article in our Facebook page so we can get some of our listener opinions on this as well.
I'm gonna be watching this with bated breath because I know I'm gonna get slaughtered for some of the things that I've said.
Maybe.
But I just don't. I don't see the point in getting upset about it. That's basically what I was trying to say.
I think what people need to understand as well is that our opinions on the podcast may not necessarily reflect our own opinions fully or wholly, because we tend to when we're doing the podcast, we come from we try and like tackle it from all angles and see other people's opinions and put opinions forward that may not necessarily be our own. So hopefully our listenership will be quite kind. Anyway, so if you do want to follow that wonderful shitstorm of an article, that will be in our Fret Talk Podcast Facebook group. So facebook.com Fret Talk Podcast within groups. I don't think it's we're quite popular enough to get Fret Talk Podcast / Facebook or whatever. So, but hey ho, we'll still soldier on with that. If you want to find me,
I don't know. There's a few outside listeners so far, so it'll keep growing.
Yeah, I mean we've got a decent listenership going at the moment, but I don't think Facebook have quite recognised our stature.
No.
Give it time.
Not yet, but they will.
So if you want to catch me, it's facebook.com/budgetpedalchap. It's instagram.com/budgetpedalchap. If you go on YouTube and look, search for Budget Pedal Chap, all separate words, you will find me. I'm about the third one down at the moment. I've got 2 videos. They're quick instructional guitar tips, so well worth a check out. Standard stuff, like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. It all helps.
Yep.
We find you at don'tpanic.co.uk and don'tpanic.com. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And facebook.com/don'tpanicblackpool.
Correct.
Oh, you've been doing this too long. I can't remember your information, Paul.
We need some new blood.
That's it. Some people who confuse me. So yeah, I mean that's us for this week. It's been an absolute belter of a podcast. Just with the releases and what's been going on in the guitar world this week. It's always good fun to have you on, Paul. So yeah, from me, your host, Budget Pedal Chap, and from Paul, it's going to be a good night from us.
And a good night from him.
Goodbye, everybody.
Ta-da!